Welcome to the Defence Property Podcast, the podcast where we talk about all things property investing and real estate for Australian Defence Force personnel. Whether you're looking to build and scale a property portfolio or relocating across Australia, we've got the insights and tips for less stress and more success. Let's dive in.
And welcome back to another episode of the Defence Property Podcast. I'm Kane Drew from Discover Buyers Agency, your host. And today we're doing something a little bit different with a blast from the past. People may know him. It's Brodie Locock from Outperform Fitness. Brodie, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Kane.
So I would dare say a lot of the younger or newer members of the Defence will be familiar with you. Would that be fair, Brodie?
Yeah, getting out there a fair bit now. Yeah, the name's definitely getting around the units, and as we get new clients in there, they're always saying, everyone knows you over there, so it's definitely getting out. It's good.
We'll get into the nitty-gritty of your business a little bit further into the podcast, but just high level, introduce yourself, I guess, and perform what you have.
Yeah, so I grew up in a small town. If people are from New South Wales, it's definitely a well-known town, not for a good reason, but I grew up in Cessnock. Spent my first 18 years there. I grew up on a little hobby farm there too, so very active, played lots of sports, grew up playing footy, did a lot of boxing, did lots of stuff, rode motorbikes, all those sort of things. So I was always very active as a kid, and really appreciative of that as well, because a lot of kids don't get that sort of stuff anymore, especially just being out on the farm. You're just going out, running around and doing all that sort of stuff. So definitely had a good upbringing in that sort of retrospect, and never really thought about joining the army or anything like that at any point until I decided to do it. So I went through school, and because we had the Singo Army base right just up the road from us, so you'd always hear them going off, and like with all mortars, you'd hear them all the time. Just sitting at home, you'd hear them banging and everything like that.
Yeah.
But we had kids at school, they wanted to be in the army and wanted to be an army man. You'd see them driving around the town all the time, but I never thought about doing it. It would never come across my radar at all. I dropped out of school in year 10, tried a few different things, nothing really clicked, went back and repeated. So I started a year later for year 11, tried again. School didn't work for me again. So I ended up dropping out again. And at that point, army started to come into my radar, and I started to think about it a little bit.
Yep.
Gave him a call, decided to join. I joined as a reserve to start with. So, did the short course down at Kapuka. But when I went to go enlist, I had no idea what I was going to be either. So I just went in, did all the testing, and it was a lot quicker back then when we did it too, but did all the aptitude testing and everything.
What year did you join?
Oh, that was in 2005.
2005.
So, yeah, right at the end of 2005. So I only just turned 19 at that point. So it was just after my birthday. I'd obviously been applying already just before that, but had no idea what I was going to do in the army. And then I went in, did all the testing and everything. They're like, oh, you could do this, that, and that. And I was like, oh, what's available at the unit? Like, because I was going to go reserve, what's available at the unit that I'm at? And they're like, oh, you can be a tradie there as a mechanic. And again, never in my entire life had ever thought about being a mechanic. And I was like, righto, we'll do that. So ended up joining as a mechanic, going to do Kapuka. Loved it at Kapuka. And which is weird. Not a lot of people feel that way when they go to Kapuka. But yeah, I absolutely loved it. Loved just everything about it. And I decided at that point when I was there, I was like, I want to go full time. And so right from the start, I was trying to transfer across to full time. It took about a year and a half or so. So I wasn't a reserve for long. Transferred across to full time, and spent I don't even know what year. I think it was probably 2000. Whenever the fires were, 2018 or something like that was when I started to transition out of full time.
Okay.
So it was a good stint.
So good for 10, 12 years full time.
Yeah. So all up, it ended up with my reserve time and my full time, like serving was 17 years. And yeah, I'm still technically in. I'm just inactive at the moment, which is going on 20 years now. So yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
even thinking about maybe getting in, and because with the long service side of things, you need the 15 years. And I jumped on. Well, I had someone jump on and have a look at my service record, and with all the reserve time and full time put together, because reserves calculated very different. One Tuesday night is half a night, sort of thing. Yeah, all of that condensed together, I'm at 14 years, um, 11 months and 2 weeks.
There you
So I
go.
need 2 weeks. And it's probably even less than that because I actually did a little bit of time afterwards and that wasn't calculated in. So it's probably a week or so that I need to do to get that 15-year gone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You get active again, mate.
Yeah. Do a couple of
Hey,
weeks and be good to go.
so what was your first unit?
Yeah. So as a mechanic, as you'd know, we spend our first little stint down at Bandiana and do our training down there for a year or so. And then we go off to our on-the-job training, which I did in Sydney. And then, yeah, went off to my first unit, which was 17 construction with you. That's where I
Yeah.
met Kane
Yeah.
as a corporal back in the day.
I'll probably spend more time in those days. That's when I was super young, right into the property. Spend more time preaching to the boys in the workshop about buying property than I did telling them what truck or what not to fix.
Yeah.
Lifetime ago that.
You're helping with the finances. I'm helping with the fitness, and no trucks are getting fixed.
Oh dear. And then where'd you go? So 17 construction, that would have been sort of around 2010.
Yeah. So I transferred to full time in 2007, 8, 9. Yeah, it would have been around 2010, something like that. Yeah.
And 9, 10, 11. And where'd you
Yeah.
go after?
Yeah. So I was chopping and changing around a fair bit just to mainly stay in Sydney because I had a son in Newcastle. So the army worked with me pretty well
Yeah.
with sticking in the location that was nice and close. Every year they were trying to get me out of there, but I seemed to stick around
Yeah.
until towards the end. But yeah, so I spent a few years at 17 Construction. I think I was there for 2, maybe. I think I got an early posting from there. And then I went across to 2GHB, which is a company for like the hospital there. No, sorry, it wasn't even the hospital at Holsworthy. It was the Brisbane's hospital. They just had a little company there. So I only spent a year at that one because they were moving to Brisbane. So I went there to stick around in Sydney, but yeah, they were obviously moving. So Schema were good to me again and got me out of there and sent me to Sols, so Special Operations Logistics Squadron, and spent 4 years there. So that was my longest posting there. Loved it. That was, as everyone does. It's a completely different world being there. And then after that, I was back at the unit that I originally started at as a reserve, 8 Sisby in Newcastle, but I was there as full time, which was probably the hardest unit that I'd been at, the most work. It was weird because it was like super cruisy, PT at the beach every day sort of thing. But at the same time, because you're the only one there working, there is always just so much work to do. Pretty much running the workshop as a corporal there. And yeah, spent, I think it was 3 years there. And then that's when I went on long service and started having time off to start to transition across to build the business out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they posted to me to 6AB, so I was technically back at Sydney. And even then, when I was going through the discharge side of things or the transfer to go back to reserves, they were posting me down to the trade school down at Bandania again. So I was just like, yeah, that solidifies my my transfer. I'm not going down there.
As an instructor or?
Yeah, they wanted me to promote, so go down and do it for a promotion side of things. So
Yeah, okay. Nice. And 2 sergeant or?
yeah, it's a sergeant. So I'd already cracked out. I think it was sub 2, and they wanted me to go down there to get that instructional role for at least a year and continue on as a
Right. Cool. So this was around 2017. You're transitioning to the reserves.
Yeah, I think it was 18. I think 2018. Yeah, when the fires were like the big fires, because I actually got called back off leave when I was when I was on leave, like when I was starting the business up.
Yeah.
And I got called back off leave to go help with the fires with that unit.
Yeah.
And then,
Talk
after
us
that.
through the business and the plans there. Like, I mean, I know your background and stuff, but when did fitness come into your thoughts and as a, I guess as a potential career post defense, like when did you start planning it and thinking about it?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, as I said, growing up, like fitness was just always such a big part of my life and just always loved it. I never thought about the coaching or instructing side of things. I never wanted to do it because I was always wanting to be the one coached, wanting to be the one performing well rather than teaching people how to do it. But
Yeah.
I think it's just one of those transitions that everyone that loves something gets to. You learn so much about something and you realize you can start to help other people out with that same sort of goal. So yeah, it wasn't until I was a little bit through my army years that I started to actually do personal training courses and things like that, learning a little bit more. And then I started it as a little bit of a side business in Sydney, just training people down at the park. I even took people on base, like some of the guys that were already in. And
That's a
yeah,
pretty common way for personal trainers to start, isn't it? Is the localized group
yeah,
fit classes and pick up their PTs or one-on-ones
oh,
of
definitely, yeah,
groups.
yeah. And it's such a good way to do it, especially with all this online stuff because I'm fully online now.
Yeah.
But that doesn't come without that initial learning to start with the face to face, and that's what I really recommend with anyone that comes to me and asks for advice with getting their business started and anything like that. If they are going for online for anything, you need to get out there and train people face to face, get that experience to actually coach. Because even throughout my 17 years in the army, I was running PT all the time. So I had such a big background of experience with training people. And then, yeah, that initial setup with the business just started getting those one. And then that's also a big thing with that is I started training people that weren't army. You don't understand what civilians are actually like until you get out and you train them. Completely different mindset to guys that are in the army that you're probably already mates with that are probably already reasonably fit.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
need that experience too, because I was training school teachers and all sorts of stuff out of the garage.
I mean, if I remember correctly, back in 2000 and sort of that 9 and 10 era, although I'm a little bit rounder and softer these days, I was actually a combat fitness leader and you were the crafty, so I was running a lot of sessions with you, and whenever I was away, you would fill in for me. But if I am remembering correctly, I'd beat you in a lot of the competitions and stuff. Just
I don't know about that. I think the days might have changed now.
comps are over, mate. Very good. So give us a snapshot of Outperform Fitness today, like the typical client, typical product,
Yep.
business, who you are and what you do.
Yeah, for sure. So it's called Outperform Fitness. And it really transitions naturally into what I'm doing at the moment. So I was training defense personnel the whole time, but also helping out with those school teachers and all that sort of stuff. When I moved to Newcastle from Sydney and I lost that face-to-face side of things, people were still reaching out to me asking for help with training. And
Yep.
that's when I started to dabble into the online programming side of things. I started a Facebook page as well. And it sort of just transitioned into that because people still needed the help. And I was trying to reach those people even though I was away from where they were and I couldn't train them face to face. So yeah, as it transitioned across, I started to think, a really big gap in fitness is people going from civilians and a lot of people that have never trained in their entire life going into the army. Not even like, obviously we've got the fitness tests and things like that, but just giving them a good baseline of fitness so that they can start on the front foot when they go into the defense force, reduce injuries, all those sort of things. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. So, because I was sitting down at the unit one time with one of my mates and I was looking and I saw him doing the PFA with the beep test. I'm just like, holy shit, this is where I could insert my training and really help a lot of people with this
Yeah.
side of things. So that's the main people that I help. I help people from all walks of life. But the way that I target is I train people that are getting ready for the Defence Force. They're preparing for service. People that are already in as well. We help a lot of people, especially reservists, because they don't have that training.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like with their units and stuff, they need to. It's on them to keep their fitness up. Still got to pass the same sort of tests,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
also help people that are outside of. They're either veterans or they've never trained in their entire life as well, and that's all about perform for life, because we've got the slogan prepare for service, perform for life.
Yep.
And that just encompasses everyone that we train. And it's the same sort of mentality. I use very, very structured training with everything that we do. And yeah, that's how you stick with things, and it gives you purpose beyond your training. But yeah, essentially I train 90% of my clients are people that are going, like, applying for the Defence Force or police or anything like that. It's fully online. We train them through using apps, but everyone that comes on board with us as well, they get assigned a personal coach as well. And it's people that have been through the process themselves, whether it be fiery, whether it be ADF or anything like that. So you're actually talking to someone that understands, that side of, that's it. Like, what do you actually need to prepare for outside of just researching a couple of things on the internet and looking at a couple of fitness tests that are the minimum standard that aren't really going to help you if you reach that level. It's just getting you across the line. So
There's so many
yeah,
similarities, like with property and stuff. Like if you're buying a property, you're in defence. There's DOAS, HPAS. There's all these entitlements you can or can't use. And like a mortgage broker who doesn't or isn't familiar with the way of defence. I was
yep,
talking to someone today, and they should have been slinging. They went on. They just said, "Oh, you're going to get this Westpac instead." So terrible advice, because that broker doesn't understand the way of life.
yeah,
Know,
yeah,
you've got that knowledge on the fitness side,
exactly.
group strength, long walk and stuff like that. There's stuff that don't require, I guess, fitness, that fitness knowledge make a huge difference.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, and same sort of concept, and it's what I actually promote a lot with my training, like with my coaches side of things is, someone actually understanding that side of things
Yeah.
rather than just, and it's never bagging on any sort of general PT, because there's a lot of really awesome ones out there, but
Yeah.
you can't really train someone for something when you don't know what they're actually training for.
No.
Other than looking at, a couple of fitness tests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, same concept as what you're talking about for sure.
And what about, because I guess, like goal setting and stuff, like a big part of what we do with the client is they're not ready to buy a property. They could be 3, 6, 12 months away from being able to achieve that. So there's a planning aspect, but also a motivation aspect, which I think there'd be a lot of similarities across, getting fit, getting in shape, whatever your goal is. It could be a marathon or
Mm,
fitness test or entry test. Or it could be, there's so many different things we can prepare for from a fitness side. But there's also similar in property. It's generally rare that someone is hanging a block and go and do it. It's where it's at. And we run a marathon, we do it. How do you help people work motivation training phase?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, the first thing, and it'd be the same as you, like you need to have a clear goal of what they want to achieve and the time frame to actually achieve that. Because same sort of thing that you'd go through, like someone's plan to get ready for, a fitness test in 1 month's time is going to be completely different to someone that's going to needs to be ready for it in 12 months time.
Yeah.
You can take completely different approaches, and depending on their past history with what they've done, where their fitness level is at the moment, all of those sort of things come into play with the plan towards what you want to achieve. Um, and the big thing with motivation, is having clear purpose behind everything that you do with a plan. So when you've got a plan that you're following and everything that you're doing, has a purpose behind it, because it's where a lot of people get lost. Like they've got these goals, they've got these awesome goals there, and it's what they want to achieve, but it's really just a dream that they want to do until you actually put a plan to it. You're not going to achieve it. Like you'll have those odd people that just naturally do that sort of stuff. But yeah, with those plans there, you've got direction and purpose with everything that you're doing, because life always throws shit at you as well. And you're always going to get spun off course. But if you've got that plan to always come back to, that's going to keep you on track. It's like putting the bumpers up. You know, you're always going to be bumping side to side, but you just need to keep going in that right direction. And that's where a proper plan comes into play, and reaching out to people like yourself and coaches and things like that, so that you can help someone with that direction. That's what I tell people all the time. Is like, we'll put the bumpers up for you, give you a kick in the ass, but you're the one that's got to do the work to keep moving forward.
100%. That's the same with us. Like, I can tell you how much to save and that, but at the end of the day, they're going to be the person that doesn't spend it, saves it.
That's right.
No one's going to come in and do the work for you. But yeah, great advice. So what sort of messages can you give out to, I guess, a couple of top tips while we're on it for just fitness for probably, I mean, most of our audience would be, I would say, current serving or veteran community, but, you know, so maybe a couple of pointers for them, but also, I guess, your enlisting members as well.
Yeah. So a big one for people that are in the Defence Force already, because I went through this myself, and I'm sure you did back in the day as well, is just doing too much, too much training. You really want to have clear purpose behind your training, not just going in and doing it for the sake of doing it, and take your PT into account, because that PT has big recovery costs on the body. And if you're just hammering it with the same sort of shit in your own training, it's not getting you anywhere. It's just digging a hole, and you're not really going to progress. A really good sort of direction that I like to take people in is, what are you not doing in PT? What is that not covering? A lot of the time it's strength, pure strength training, and some easy aerobic stuff.
Yeah.
That's typically what it's missing a lot of, because you're always doing smash circuits, you're doing this, and it's so uncontrolled. PT a lot of the time, someone's just coming in to do some sort of smash session to make the guys hurt for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
So you need to do that stuff that's going to complement and fill those gaps with your fitness, with strength.
So obvious, but like, I mean, so obvious in hindsight hearing it, but you don't really think too much of it.
No. And you think, I want to get fitter, so I need to do harder stuff.
Yeah.
When it's not necessarily that way. You're just compounding on what you're already doing, really.
And what about for the veteran community?
Yeah, veterans, and this is a big one, is as soon as you lose purpose with your training, which happens when you leave the army. Myself, even when I left, it's just like, you don't have that drive anymore. You don't have to keep even though some people struggle with it anyway, but you still at least have those benchmarks of needing to keep yourself up to the BFA standards or whatever it is.
There's removed.
Yep. You lose the accountability, like even just the fact of doing PT sessions every so often, all these, and that sort of group team stuff really helps as well, like getting in with all your PT. But yeah, you just lose a lot of direction and purpose with your training, and it just disappears. And then you sort of go into the gym and you do a couple of things here and there, but it's really got no direction. So it's hard to stay motivated with something when you're not really moving forward with it. You're just doing it because you know you're supposed to do it. So yeah, for veterans, getting on some sort of plan, like some sort of training plan to give your training some purpose again. You don't have to be, where you were 20 years ago or anything, but always just trying to improve yourself. If anything, maintain as you age as well, because a lot of us leave the army, you got injuries, you got all this sort of stuff, and a lot of those things can be helped with just some structured training and working around those, because just think of it like, you don't do anything, you got busted knees, and then you don't do anything, you're going to put on weight, so your knees are going to get worse, your body's full of inflammation. And just getting some consistent training in there just helps around all of that.
Yeah, nice. And then finally for the pre-defense, then
Yep. Big one actually for the pre-defense is, don't think you're fit enough, because you're not. There is no fit enough.
To the spectrum, right?
For starters, you probably haven't been exposed to what fit is a lot of the time. Hey, I run into some really fit guys too, but they don't sit there and say, I'm fit enough, I'm strong enough. I've got a physical job, so I don't need to, like, I can do this sort of stuff. I can do 20 push-ups. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
There is no end point with your training. And trust me, you're not there.
Yeah.
So yeah, getting in there, getting some structured training in there, just constantly want to progress and just work on the basics to build strength and running. And that will set a good baseline moving forward into the defense.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Brodie, we could sit here and talk fitness all day. Where can people find you, I guess?
Yeah, I'm all over socials. You just have to look for Outperform Fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. And if there are any applicants out there just wanting to get an idea of what it's like going through the application process, enlistment, and basic training, I run a YouTube channel, Outperform Fitness, and it's called Tactical Career Chats. So in there, I just interview people that have gone through the process so you can get some first-hand experience from them as well. But yeah, I'm across Facebook, but the main ones are Instagram and on YouTube there, but I'm all over Facebook and everything else as well.
And I've obviously known you for 20 odd years. I've seen a lot of your content, and there's some great content out there. I think you even had one where there was I can't remember how old she was, but quite old female that joined.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. We've had some 60-year-olds go through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, some great, amazing content, some really helpful for anyone enlisting, but also anyone serving that's just wanting that general fitness tips. Every time I see some of your content in there and I'm sitting there eating my donut, Brady's there like ripped, shirtless, doing something, I'm like, oh, might just put that down. The guilt kicks in a bit.
I used to beat that guy.
So you heard it first. He admitted it. Well, Brodie, thanks for coming on the podcast, mate. Hopefully, there's quite a few value bombs in there. If anyone's looking to get in touch, happy for you to reach out to myself or go straight to Outperform Fitness on Instagram and YouTube and reach out to Brodie.
No, for sure. Thanks for having me, mate.